Welcome to Dota2 Splash, and on today's episode we're going to be doing a guide on Sven, the melee, disabler, initiator, carry support. What does that mean? Well, we're going to find out, and of course your host, none other than Stefan Orange. Oh yeah, giggity gig. Okay, so first off, Sven is one of my favorite characters in the game, which is why I'm making a review on him. My other favorite one is Luna, which I've already done a guide on. You should check it out. I think it's pretty good. Hopefully, eventually, I'll be able to go back and do more advanced guides for these characters. These are just kind of the initial basic coverage of the character and introduction. Now, Sven is an interesting character because he plays so many important roles and can be kind of hard to use because of that. He is not an entry-level character, although some people find him to be. He's usually not, unless you have some kind of understanding of how he plays. And this is mostly because he can either be a carry or a support, or he can be an early game support, late game carry, which is how I usually play him. Now, the basic build, which is usually what most of the people who play him as a carry will build him, is Boots of Tread, then Mask of Madness, and then they'll start working on a BKB and a Daedalus, or the Crystals first. And these are basically his core items if you're going to be a carry. You get a BKB because you are the initiator and you want to be able to run into the enemy group and stun them without getting damaged first. A BKB is a really great thing to pick up, and of course his Mask of Madness is only going to strengthen his ult, which we'll go into a little bit later, and plus it'll give him more survivability whenever he is initiating and tanking a team fight. I personally build him as an early game support, and that means that I usually get Boots of Tread, an Urn, and a War Drum. Now, if I find that we have another support on the team, a main support, maybe a Keeper of the Light or a Tiny or somebody else that wants to play support, I'll go ahead and just get a War Drum and start building him like a carry. Now let's just go over a few of his abilities. His first one is Storm Hammer, which is his main stun, and the more points you put in this, the more damage it's going to do. It's always going to stun for 2 seconds and always have the same radius and cooldown. And then you have Great Cleave, which I don't suggest starting to put points into until after you actually are after level 16, and unless you're not getting kills, you can go ahead and put some points in it. That way you can farm out. It's just basically his farming tool because it's basically just cleave. It just gives him an AoE attack. And then third you have his War Cry, which is a really great support ability. This is going to increase his armor, and at the highest level it gives you 16 armor, which if you're going against melee characters, it can mean life or death in a team fight situation for your whole team. And then you have his ultimate, which is my funnest ultimate in the whole game, which is why I love playing him, is called God's Wrath. And this is not only going to make Sven turn into this red satanic looking version of himself, but it's going to add 100 to 200 bonus damage depending on how many points you're in. And if you have a Daedalus built and other strength items, you're gonna be critting for 1,000 damage, and it's insane. Like, you can just demolish people in seconds with this ult. How to use this efficiently though is, or I guess the order in which to best utilize this would be whenever going into a team fight or even just against an enemy, would be popping your ultimate, God's Strength, after you have it, then go rushing in as an initiator, popping your Storm Hammer, and then your War Cry. And I would say do your God's Strength first because it does have a long animation. It's kind of like Ursa's ult is, there's a time before doing it and before you can actually do your next move. And if you're popping this in the middle of a team fight, guess what? You're leaving yourself open for about a second where the team can just unleash a sleuth of abilities on you, and that's just no good. So you want to pop that in before you initiate, do your Storm Hammer as the initiating ability and disable ability, and then pop your War Cry for the survivability of you and your teammates during the team fight. And that's just kind of the general build for him. You always want to get points in Storm Hammer and War Cry whenever you can. Put the rest in the stats. Always put a point in God Strength when you can, and then get Great Cleave. You can get a point in it before level 16, but usually I would say go ahead and start getting them if you ever reach that level during a match. Go ahead and start putting points in Great Cleave starting at level 17. And I say get stats because he is a stat heavy character. Like, stats help him a lot, and they help him survive and help him initiate during these team fights. But in the beginning, especially if you're playing support, if you're spending money on couriers and wards as playing support, then go ahead and get Great Cleave so that you're probably not going to be getting you're not going to be any more than just a disabled support and won't be getting too many kills, so you can go ahead and get Great Cleave to help you farm out the money you need to build the items. And in the beginning, if you are playing that, your Storm Hammer is just going to be a harassment tool. Make sure to get something that gives you decent mana regen, so you can sit there, because it has a 15-second cooldown, so you can sit there and basically just not spam, but yeah, spam your Storm Hammer. And this is also a great flanking tool also in the beginning. If you want to get some ganks, you can set up a gank, you go in, pop your stun, and then your teammates can pop out from the sides and just demolish. Or you can pop out from the side and stun while your teammates go in for the kill. It's a really great ganking tool early game. And but you got to communicate with your team. I mean, that's the biggest thing with Sven is communication with your team and knowing what role you're going to be playing and have that already predetermined. And sometimes during the match, I've had this happen with them before too, where the carry is just kind of sucks, and I kind of have to carry the team, even though I made him as a support. It's like, oh, okay, so I've actually gotten some kills and some money, and our carry's no good, so now I kind of have to start building him as a carry. And that's something he is actually very good at, is flip-flopping. Like, I'll start building him as a support, and then mid-game I'll start building Daedalus. And at that point, once you have one of those, or even a Crystals, you're going to be able to carry, no matter what. You're going to be able to start getting kills and carry your team. He's that easy of a character to convert from one to the next. Well, that's the basics of Sven. I hope that you enjoyed. Make sure to play a game, and thank you very much. Have a great day. Make sure to like and subscribe this shit. Alright, bye-bye, Dota 2.